Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
Hi there. Another beautiful day.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say anything about it being a beautiful day, but that's okay.
But it is.
We thought we would just sit and kind of have a little chat.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So what do you want to chat about? You're open?
I'm open for chatting.
Well, this is a premiere, and a premiere is a lot like being live, but it's not.
But you can comment,
Right.
and we're going to monitor it. So
well, we can also
up to a point.
well, we can also interact, comment,
Right.
throughout the video, which is neat about being a premiere. We've had people ask, when our next live is going to be, and quite honestly, where we are right now, we just don't have enough internet
juice.
We don't have, to go live right here. We'd have to go into that ugly old, what we call the sweet spot, which is, next to a highway. And that's just not suitable.
And last time we were there was so much highway noise.
Right.
That it,
And there's one of our favorite restaurants is not too far from here, and we have really good upload speeds there. But, there'd be so many other people, it'd be really hard to do anything there.
How do you talk with other people sitting right? I don't know. There's other YouTubers that do it, but I don't think that's us.
Yeah. But first and foremost, on the list of things to talk about, and we need your help in this as well. Hopefully some of you will have some recommendations. We've had a few incidents here at the campground.
Yeah, and we hate to talk about negative things. But
we always try to put a positive spin on stuff, but unfortunately some of this goes on, so we need to talk about it a little bit. And this is not the first time something like this has happened, but before we get into it, I do want to point out that still 90% of everybody we encounter...
I would say 95.
Okay.
95%.
There you go. 95% of everyone we encounter is not these kind of folks.
No. 95% of the people that we meet every single day are just wanting to enjoy life, so we all have something in common.
And you all know that, if you've been following us for a while, you know that sometimes during the summer, we help out the Corps of Engineers as park attendants, as volunteers.
Sometimes?
Yeah. Well,
I think this is the third year.
Yeah, the last third year, and we did not intend for it to happen this year, but circumstances changed, so here we are.
That's right.
And it's also affording us some time to get some things done. Well, supposedly affording us some time to get stuff done on the trailer, which other things keep coming into play and kind of messes me up there. Yeah, you did.
I did touch up some paint
today.
And
look, I got paint on me.
And he stuck his hand in it.
Yeah. But we have had incidents in the past. Every single time we've been park attendants.
Well, and it may just simply be because we are park attendants, so therefore we are the face of authority.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no clue.
All we can say is there's a select few here in recent years that seems to be a lot more bolder than in the past. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, it's either that or it's just we meet once in a while people that it's all about me.
Yeah.
Just about me, no one else.
And we have certain rules. There are certain rules, and they're not hard rules to follow, but there are certain rules that we have to strive to make certain that folks adhere to.
For the majority.
Yeah. And the majority of folks, are no problem with that.
But it's to make it enjoyable for everyone.
Right.
And so anyway.
So to give you an example, one of the things that stick out in my mind the most, and this was before this campground, and we've done videos before about being a park attendant, and we've talked to a lot of folks that were park attendants in the past. We talked to some that said, yeah, I did it one time, never again, things like that. But yeah, one of the incidents that stick out in my mind more than any other is when we were park attendants at a different campground, and part of our duties there was to monitor parking at the truck and trailer parking area. There was only 17 spots for guys to park their trucks and trailers when they launched their boats, and once those 17 spots got filled, we would have to admonish them that there's no place for them to park. They need to look at a different place to launch their boat.
That didn't go over very well.
And with some, that didn't go over very well. Now, what would happen is if they went ahead on down, what they would end up doing, many of them, they would see an empty camp spot and they would just go ahead and park their truck and their trailer, boat trailer, in that empty camp spot, hop on their boat and be gone for 4 or 5 hours.
And the problem with that?
Well, you know, they assume, well, it's empty, there's nobody there. But what they don't realize is that being a very popular campground, 99% of the time, there were reservations on those sites and people were going to be coming in. And there were occasions where, yeah, they ended up being towed and got some, got some fines as a result.
And that didn't make them happy either.
No, but, and then we also had to monitor day use parking. We had a limited amount of day use parking at this particular one. And once day use parking was full and there was no place else for people to park, then we would have to tell folks that wanted to come down and picnic and go swimming and things like that, sorry, why don't you try this next park over here, this next park over here? And they would be upset. At that particular campground, on more than one occasion, I had guys get out of their truck and threaten to take me on because I told them they'd have to go somewhere else to launch their boat.
Yeah, one guy almost ran over me.
Yeah, one guy almost ran over Deb.
He did not like what I had to tell him.
And
I was standing too close to the truck.
Yeah. And needless to say, that didn't go over very well with me. There were also times, well, for one thing, that's back when we had 2 vehicles and we left the van parked most of the time. Well, we went to get in it one day and we went to back it out and someone had stuck a 1/4-inch bolt behind my left rear tire. And they had a washer on it and everything, so it would stand up just perfect. And when I backed over, not realizing that was there, of course, I knocked a 1/4-inch hole right in the middle of my tire and ruined the tire. And
so we watch for things like that now.
So we do watch for that kind of stuff. Yeah. So those things have happened. And last year at another campground, I had a guy literally get out of his truck because he thought he had a reservation at this particular campground, which he did not. And he came back mad, blaming it on me and ready to take me on. And anyway, to make a long story short, that guy ended up eventually getting arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as it turned out, he had other warrants against me. And here again.
That's just 5% of what you run into.
Yeah, but you do run into those things.
It makes us go,
Yeah. And then more recently, we had a troublemaker here at this campground that we're at, a group of troublemakers. They pulled into this spot that they had reserved, and they pulled in after hours, after the booth was closed. Well, when they pulled into this spot, there's another campsite right next to it, and it was empty. So what they did, they went ahead and set up in both spots. They set up a pop-up trailer in one spot.
And a pickup camper
and a pickup camper in the other spot. Well, then what happens later on that evening, and we didn't find all this out till the next day, was
someone else was coming in for site 14.
It was. Thank you, dear.
And their spot was taken.
Right.
So what did they do? They went and grabbed another empty spot.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you see the snowball?
Which was reserved for someone else, and they still had yet to come in. So all of a sudden this domino effect started. So when we realized what was really going on here, of course I go and talk to these people and say, hey, you don't have this spot here. You need to move everything over to this spot. And they proceeded to argue with me and say, well, there's empty spots all over the campground. Why can't you move these people to another spot so we can go ahead and use both of these? And I'm thinking that's not the way this works, And anyway, I explained to them.
Plus, at that point in time, from our previous research, every spot in the campground was full.
Yeah. Right. And that's what I was getting ready to explain to this guy. I said, even though you see empty sites, every one of these sites are reserved. So anyway, when we got that all worked out, finally told them, and they said, okay, we'll move off the spot. And, but they weren't happy. And I don't understand that, But in the meantime, when I went back to talk to the other people that had to take a different spot because their spot had been taken, Deb went in and looked, and sure enough, someone had just canceled another spot.
Like,
so to keep
yes.
things from getting awkward, we moved these kids to another spot because they would have been fairly close to these other people, and that could have become an issue.
Right.
know? But later on, and this was during a burn ban. That's what I need to bring out too as well. The night ranger comes through, and they were aware that we'd had issues with this particular group. He comes through there, and they have a fire going.
Plus, they'd moved back.
They had moved back into that
14.
spot.
So now they were taking up two sites
now
again.
Now here they are again. So
they didn't go in and reserve it. They just took it.
Yeah, they just went ahead and moved into it, So the ranger explains to them that they need to get back off of that spot, and he also tells them there's a burn ban, put the fire out. And and he admonishes them that if they continue with this behavior, they could be kicked out of the campground. So anyway, the next day, I'm going through there making my rounds.
And they're still in both sites.
And they're both still in both sites. They have moved back again after they moved off after the range of the night ranger.
They had a campfire.
And they had a campfire again.
And then throughout the park, some other people complained that these people had partied till 2:30 in the morning. And if you all know, a Corps of Engineer campground quiet hour is 10 o'clock.
Right. So
you have to be quiet after 10.
Yeah. So there were complaints about these people all throughout the campground.
So this requires another call to the rangers.
So the rangers come back out, and I told them, I said, checkout time is at 3 o'clock, and this was at 2 o'clock, and I said, they haven't even begun to pack anything. And they said, we'll get somebody out there. So a ranger got out there by 2:30, and still yet they hadn't managed to do anything, and the campfire was still going.
Right.
The illegal campfire was still going. So he tells them to put the fire out. He tells them they have 30 minutes to get packed up and get gone, and then he leaves. Well, at 3 o'clock, they still hadn't done anything. Haven't even begun, and we have other people that are going to be coming in to check in before too long at that campsite. So we call the ranger back, and he goes over there, admonishes them one more time, to do this. And so they finally start packing, and he sits and waits until they get packed. Well, they finally get packed at 3:45 and start to pull out. So the ranger goes ahead and pulls out because he thinks it's all done. He pulls out ahead of them. Well, what they did, they pulled into the truck and boat trailer parking lot, which is right next to the booth. Didn't bother to come through the booth at all, and it's right where we can see it. Plus, they didn't park in any spots. There was 3 vehicles. They parked parallel, blocking everyone else so they couldn't get their trailers in and out, and literally just loitered there for about 45 minutes.
Well, they were kind of daring us, is what I felt like.
Right.
They were daring us to come say something.
Right. They were trying to intimidate us, so we just sat
and we did our best to ignore them.
Yeah, but we did keep an eye on them. So, there's been other incidents as well. And they finally did leave. Everything was okay. But, the thought runs through our mind. What if people like this want to decide to take it a step farther because they know where our trailer is in the campground?
It would be hard to figure out.
Yeah. What if they, decided to come and harass us at our trailer? We've also had incidents when we're in the booth where someone will actually walk right down through our site on the way to try to go fishing somewhere else. And then I go and tell them, hey, you can't walk through our site. This is our private site. They literally walk within 3 feet of the door of the trailer, if you know what I mean. And we've had it happen to us, and we've had it happen to the other park attendants that are right next door to us, same thing. And fortunately, we kind of keep an eye on each other's place, because of that. We've had to run people off that would come down standing in their yard, taking photos of themselves, taking selfies of themselves, standing right in their front yard, but, there's a nice view of the water there. So they thought it was okay to walk in there and shoot selfies of themselves.
And that's just common courtesy.
Yeah, and that's all about common courtesy. So what if these people decided to come back later and do something else?
Cause some kind of damage.
Cause some other damage, harass us, whatever. Now, we do have a plan if someone was to try to come through the door, either door of the trailer. I won't go into any more detail than that, but we are prepared for that. But we're also thinking that maybe we need to, have some kind of security cameras around the trailer. That's what I'm thinking. And we've been talking about it. So what we're asking you folks,
for recommendations.
we're asking you for recommendations. You know, what could we, I know some of you out there have security cameras, some of you that are RVers or have cargo trailer conversions or van dwellers or whatever. You know, what would you suggest, you know, as to what we can look into? I know there are so many different options, and I've really not researched that much. So anyway, what's your thoughts on that? So, and we will be commenting live along with you folks, you know, about all of this. What?
You have a black eye. And I didn't hit you.
Are you sure? I thought I woke up with my eye hurting in the middle of the night last night. Are you sure?
Your eyelid's black and blue.
Kidding. Well, it might be because I was working on the van. It could be something that's not.
I don't know.
Never mind.
Anyway. I didn't hit him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, that's, you know, I didn't mean to drag it out that long, but yeah, we've had some incidents along the way, had some vandalism along the way and stuff like that.
And I guess part of our deal is, of course, we've now got 2 different county sheriff's phone numbers. Mm-hmm. We've got Fish and Game's phone numbers, and of course we've got the park rangers' phone numbers. So we have people to call. But you know, sometimes we are not on the beaten path.
Yeah, it takes a while to get here.
You know, so for a little while we have to be able to do something, and maybe some kind of outdoor security with a microphone that says, "Get the crap out of here."
Yeah. Yeah, and also record everything, you know, and if they know that they're on candid camera, of course, that would deter some folks as well.
It doesn't worry us a great deal, but, you know, you got that little inkling, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it might be something that we need to start looking into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, for a positive nature.
Okay. What do you got this positive?
Well, we've got, of course, the fall rendezvous coming up. Mm-hmm. We've got our itinerary now on the website.
Yeah, you call off the website because I get it wrong every time.
iRideTinyAdventures.com.
You got it wrong too. It's iRideTinyHouseAdventures.com. You said iRideTinyAdventures. iRideTinyHouseAdventures.com.
It's kind of the name of our channel.
Well, but you said iRide.
Anyway.
Adventures.com. You didn't say tiny house.
Okay.
I know.
Go to the website. Go into, of course, you'll see the drop-down box. There's one that's marked rendezvous. Mm-hmm. Go into it, and it will show you the itinerary for each evening. We're planning evening activities. Daytime is for you all to visit, go see the area. Our daughter came up with a whole agenda. Oh my gosh.
Well, she came up with a list of things to do and things to see and things like that. There's a lot to see in this area, folks, for those that haven't
I
been
had
here
come
before.
up with 4 or 5 things. She came up with 3 pages.
Yeah.
So.
And what we're going to try to do, we can't do everything that she had on the list, but what we are going to try to do is maybe do a video now and then between now and when the rendezvous starts.
In 4 weeks.
Points of interest.
He's going to get with it.
I know. Points of interest, you know, things you might want to look at. For one thing, the Daisy BB Gun Museum.
There's that.
Did you know that Rogers, Arkansas is the home of Daisy BB guns, of Daisy?
And they have a museum.
Yeah. And I went in there the other day and wow, it's just really interesting.
So, anyway, things to do.
Yeah. But, and if you happen to see that particular rifle that you had when you were a kid, you can purchase them there, you know. So,
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the many, many, many things to do in the area.
There's so many things.
And of course then we're having nightly things, which you'll see on the website. So
there's War Eagle Cavern, there's War Eagle Mill, there's Eureka Springs, Arkansas. There's, of course, kayaking in the area. There's, man, oh man, the list just goes on and on and on.
Right.
There's the Golden Gate Bridge in Beaver, Arkansas. You've got to go see the Golden Gate Bridge in Beaver, Arkansas.
Well, that's kind of, if you go to Eureka Springs, you can do that too, and then still be back in plenty of time for the evening festivities.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the goal.
Right. Anything else, babe?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything we were going to talk about.
Yeah. But if anybody has any recommendations on some kind of a security, and one thing we got to keep in mind about the security cameras that we have mounted on the outside, our trailer is 8.5 feet wide. So in order to, correct me if I'm wrong, and some of you may know better than me, but I've been told that DOT rules allow for us to have things sticking out the side about 3 inches, but they can't protrude more than 3 inches. So if we had some kind of a camera that we could mount, say, on each corner of the trailer or something like that, it cannot protrude more than 3 inches if we mounted them on the side. Now, if we could get cameras of some sort that would swing around and still give us a good shot down the side of the trailer as well as the back, then we could mount them on the front and the back of the trailer right on the edge, just as long as it didn't protrude more than 3 inches. But then again, we've also got to be concerned about going down the road. They've got to be able to hold up to, pulling a trailer
in the
70 and 80 some. Okay. Well, I have been to
65 at the top speed.
I know. But anyway, those are things that we have to take into consideration on that. So if you have any recommendations, we would love to see what you might suggest that we look into.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Nope, we just got a lot more things on what we're going to be doing, and try to get some.
The time is drawing near. It's just a month away.
To the rendezvous,
To
yeah.
the rendezvous, yeah.
Not very far away at all.
Now, you looked the other day, and you said there looked like there might be 2 more sites
There's
still
2
yet
sites
available.
that were available as of yesterday.
Okay.
One of the people that was coming had to cancel because they are building a trailer and they're not going to have it to the place they wanted it to be at before they came. So maybe we will see them in February.
Yeah.
But at the Arkansas one, we have 2 sites left as of yesterday that I looked it up.
Okay. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to email us at tinyhouseadventures@gmail.com. No, that's wrong too.
See, he doesn't even know.
Be sure and email us at iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. It'll be up on the screen. It'll be in the description, and all that information will be in a pinned comment.
Our brains
I know.
can't handle it all.
I'm sorry, but we'll repeat all that. But the email is iridetinyhouse@gmail.com. The website is iridetinyhouseadventures.com.
I think you got it. I think we got it.
I think we better go.
I think so too.
We'll see y'all later. Y'all
Thank
take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you again soon. Remember, though, we're not camping.
We're living.
Get out there and do some living. We'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.